What is going on, YouTube? Thank you so very much for tuning in to another video. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Aaron Abels, and today I'm going to be discussing what it was like for me at 3 months of sobriety. Let's get right into it. So today I am currently at a local lake, Castake Lake to be exact, if you can hopefully see it behind me. I have a location that I want to film at, so I will meet you all there. Alright guys, so change of plans. The location that I was just currently at, that I hiked all the way to, was extremely windy. So I picked this location with this beautiful view. So 3 months of sobriety. 3 months of sobriety is such a huge milestone for me because I tell so many people who are going through sobriety, give yourself at least 3 months of sober eyes and you will have a completely different perspective on life, and I truly stand by that. 1 month is really big, 2 months obviously, but 3 months for me and my perspective is when you start breaking those bad habits and you start having a different perspective on life. And someone once said, in order to break a bad habit, you must replace it with new behavior. And also at 3 months is when I slowly started readapting myself back into society. You see, I was trying to explain to Elizabeth what it's like having an addiction. So to me, I don't know if this makes sense for other addicts, but addiction feels like you're being incarcerated, but you're trapped in your own mind and body. You're basically institutionalized from your own substance. And once you get sober, for me, it's like you've been released from prison and you're trying to readapt yourself back into society. Pretty much simple day-to-day tasks can trigger relapse, so you have to be prepared and you have to be mentally strong. So for me, I wanted to start slowly. For the first 3 months of sobriety, I had to explain to my friends that I needed time away to focus on my sobriety, my health, and my well-being. And if you have good friends, they should completely understand, and if they don't, then you should really consider getting new friends. And the funny thing was, I started thinking to myself, dang, how bad was I that my friends aren't really questioning my sobriety? And to reiterate, I wanted to start little by little. Like for instance, going to a restaurant and completely avoiding the bar area and not even looking in that direction. I even remember at that time the movie theaters were serving alcohol, and that confused me for 2 reasons. One, I don't know how an alcoholic would continue going back and forth getting refills on your drinks, and 2, continuously going to the bathroom back and forth from all of those drinks. How do you enjoy a movie that way? I digress. I remember at around 3 months of sobriety, and keep in mind that I was going to AA meetings every day up until this point, I got the courage to attend a barbecue that my friends were having, and some of them were drinking. I remember I brought my sparkling waters and everything was good for the most part. Side note, I do want to make a video about my favorite sparkling waters, by the way. Back to my story, I remember that my sparkling waters were in the cooler that other people had their beers in, and I started to build a little bit of an anxiety. I told my friends that I apologized, but I had to excuse myself from the party and go home and clear my head, and they completely understood. And it made me realize that I was maybe jumping a little too far ahead and I needed to slow down a little bit. And as I mentioned, I was attending my AA meetings, so those kind of brought me back to reality and made me feel a little bit better. So at this point, Elizabeth had suggested that we go to church and we started attending a local church that is called Real Life Church. And I want to make a video with a good friend of mine later down the road to share that experience in my faith. But I can tell you that I did have a life-changing experience that Sunday, and it skyrocketed my confidence, my sobriety, and ultimately my life. So at 3 months of sobriety was a good time for me to start thinking about the relationships that I needed to mend. And I'm not saying that I had to go out and fix all of my mistakes, please don't get me wrong. It's just a good time to start looking toward the future and start setting some sobriety goals. So as I mentioned about the 3 months of sober eyes, I love telling people to please give it 3 months for you to start seeing a different perspective on life. Now, I'm not saying that your life is going to change in 3 months or that all of your mistakes are going to magically vanish. What I'm saying is that you are getting the mindset to set your life back on course. You see, for me, I realized that alcohol turned me into somebody I wasn't. It twisted my mind and it convinced me that all of my problems, my worries, my anxiety, my stress, my depression would be solved with another drink. But in reality, drinking was causing all of my problems. There's an expression that you pour alcohol all over your problems and you light it with a match. That's pretty much what I was doing. I was two completely different people, and I used to convince Elizabeth that it was absolutely anything but the alcohol. It was my solution for everything, and I honestly convinced myself that I needed it or else I was going to suffer some anxiety attack or even worse. It is so crazy to me how in denial I was when everything was right in front of me. But the good news is, it was all in my head. After 3 months of sobriety, I realized that yes, I'm still gonna have my worries, I'm still gonna have my stress, but I realized that I could handle them by myself without having to poison myself. I wanna make this clear. Just because the title of this video says 3 months of sobriety, please do not let that discourage with any amount of sobriety that you currently have. You are seriously in the same boat that I am, because any day I can go out and relapse, and that's a reality. I have told Elizabeth, because she can be a little gullible at times, I said, if there's ever a time that I tell you I'm cured from my alcoholism, please do not listen to that lie. It is my alcoholism buried deep down inside that is convincing me I don't have a problem anymore. Even being sober as long as I have, I cannot be naive and I cannot be weak-minded, and I need to have a strong team around me. And I would highly encourage you to have a strong team around you. And if for whatever reason you think that you don't have anybody that you can talk to, well, now you have me. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because I want to hear from you all. So as you can see behind me, it is about to be sunset, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I greatly appreciate all of you, and I will see you soon. Stay safe, take care, and God bless.